This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the studio series from Transformers the movie, Skeletor's Armor. I mean Megatron. So on the front of the package, to be honest, this guy looks like he could easily have fit in a Voyager class packaging. His size-wise, he does look Voyager class, you know, and I know, oh, you can't take into account the size anymore. It's all about the engineering, blah, blah, blah. We'll take a look at him and we'll see if we actually agree with that bit there on the engineering here. If we turn the package sideways, we see Megatron there, and I know they're trying to go for this kind of like evil pose, but to be perfectly honest here, it actually looks rather heroic. If that was their hope, was to make him look kind of villainous, I think they failed. On the other side, we just see more of the rest of the front of the package. And on the back, we have a picture from the movie, as well as our shots of him in vehicle and robot mode. Also, we see some random Transformer holding his gun mode, which is included here. I really have no idea whose arm that is. Megatron and the Decepticons prepare to mount a surprise attack on Autobot City. Dear God, who the hell does the layout on these boxes? Alright, that should have been broken up at best at the word mount. Because that just looks so off scale. And with it being right justified like that, it just doesn't look good with it, the second line being so short. I guess they were probably trying to fill in that big red area and they didn't have much else to say. But come on, you guys could have come up with something better than that. But anyway, let's go ahead and try opening this sucker up, shall we? Wait, is there no tape on here at all? There is no tape on my package. As always, we will set the directions aside for now. As I've said before, and just as a reminder, I like to do the Transformers the way I did as a kid, without looking at the instructions first. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and lower this a bit. So we have his little Energon sword, which it's too bad here that they did not actually make it clear plastic. Here we have what's supposed to be his gun mode. To be perfectly honest with you, they've done better jobs than this, so I don't know why they screwed this up so bad. I just don't think it looks particularly good. Like, they were actively trying to not make it look like a Walther P-13. And we have his penis. I mean, we have his barrel. I'm going to hell for this one. So that obviously sticks in the back here. Dude, it's like somebody tried to Garrett Megatron with that rubber band. And we have his fusion cannon. Does his hand turn? Okay, there we go. So right away, I do want to say it does look like that blue plastic isn't quite as blue as it originally appeared in the product shots we got earlier. It's a little bit more gray. I do think it would have been nice if it had been darker, but it doesn't look quite as tacky as I was expecting it to. His fusion cannon, I mean, it looks about right. Not quite properly, but as close as they're going to get if they're going to try to do that tank mode properly, I guess. His hand opens up. He has 3 fingers with articulation here, and 1 finger at the top with articulation. Why they separated them all when they're all in like this? Oh no, okay, hold on. This is weird. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so the top finger is articulated separate from the bottom fingers, but it's real hard to get them to move. Now let's go ahead and try putting his sword in his hand. Snaps in there and we can close it. So there we go with that. And we can open up his hand here a little bit more. Now it looks like he's getting ready to flick somebody's forehead. That can fit in his hand as well. And I'm still going to say it looks pretty awful. Ah. Of course, you actually have to open up his hand to get... Well, now. That was unexpected. But now, we know that his hand is on a ball joint. Okay. That being said, let's go ahead and check out his articulation. His head also appears to be on a ball joint, and we do get a full 360 spin if we want. He can look down, he can look up, he can look sideways. There is kind of like, when I have his head turned here, there is kind of a spot where it wants to stop. So there is something built in there to kind of keep it from going all the way around, depending on what position it's in. Honestly, his head also kind of looks like it needs to be on a faceplate, or has a faceplate that could be removed. His gun barrel has a hinge. We can spin his arm around 360 wise. It can hinge outward, straight across. We have a single joint in the elbow. That's giving us a little better than 90. Although it doesn't go past straight backwards. And of course the fusion can obviously twists in that little hole that it's in. That's what she said. And then we can do a full 360 waist rotation. The actual like hip armor here slides back too. I'm guessing this has to do with transformation, but that's also another way to get it out of the way, I guess, when you move the legs around. Speaking of which, we can kick forward pretty far. And we can kick back pretty far. And we can kick out. So we got the splits that way. And we got the splits this way. Megatron should be a cheerleader. And the hip pieces do move out of the way for you. We do have a thigh rotation here. We have a single joint in the knee. And just the thigh rotation. And we do have, of course, the ankle rockers. That's actually not a terrible pose. I mean, it's not a good pose, but it's also not a terrible pose. Something worth taking note here is also that there is weapon storage on his back. So the sword fits in the hole in the back, and then there's a slot where you can attach the gun. So you can have those out of the way, or in your display, he can have all of his equipment with him, and you don't have to worry about losing it later on. So that all being said and done, I suppose it's time for us to try to transform him. To be honest, the easy part here is taking that off and shoving the penis into the barrel. So I'm not going to comment further on that one, but you guys can think of all the dirty jokes you want. Now, the being that I have no idea how to transform this guy. Like, they did a really good job of creating the robot mode to look like the cartoon. Even like, I mean, seriously, looking at this, the only time you really see any of the tank kibble, of course, is down here, right? I mean, we have the barrel and the fusion cannon, but those were all in the cartoon anyway. So I know that at some point these legs are going to split to become the treads, but I have no idea how anything else here is supposed to move. So let's go ahead and just start looking for the hinges. I will say this, though. If you need to fold the fingers in it that much in order to do the transformation, that's not a good thing. Does this rotate? Oh, it does rotate. Okay. So that probably needs to happen. Yeah, so we got articulated fingers, I think, just to make it easier to transform him. How did I get... I have no idea how I got the one arm up, but not the other one. Wait, hold on. Okay. Oh, wait, does it? There we go. Okay. We are making some progress, it seems. Well, that's a wheel, so that's going to end up having to... I wonder. Okay. Can I just say that currently speaking, with the way this guy is transforming, he's looking directly into his crotch when he starts to transform into vehicle mode here. Something doesn't feel right here. Whoops. Oh, fudge. I mean, there's a slot here and a tab there. So that does seem like that should go in there. Then again, if I could actually figure out how the arms go. Let's throw that in the back here. Well, that image is actually less helpful than I expected. Or maybe it is actually more helpful than I was thinking. Okay. There we go. I think I got that. I think I figured out the... Those things go in... Okay, well... Oh, now what just happened? Oh, okay. Duh. Alright, so earlier we saw that we have to open that up to get this out. Wait, does this open up too? Yeah, there's something else back there. Oops. Pull that. Okay, so that's some crazy looking shit right there. So somehow this is going to become a tank. If you don't believe me, I don't think I'd believe me too right at the moment. Because again, the problem is... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. So I think... So we fold those up into there. We still have to get... Okay. Okay, so there's like different pins and stuff on the side. Here we go. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, God. Okay, so I got the pin in the leg and the pin in the shoulder there. Then the pin's up there. So theoretically... Are there any... Because those things have a couple slots that they need to go into as well. Okay. This thing here is a problem. It's lower than the wheels. So something's wrong there. I feel like this is wrong too. But there's also the issue of getting this into place. Because I think this opens up in order to fit on this thing. But this is not close enough for... Because these these little slots here look like they would go into that here. Let me lower this a little bit more. Forgive me, I think I may have had this too high for a lot of this. Because based on the image, this looks about right. Although the arms don't look like they're quite in as far as they should be. But they don't seem like they can go in any further than this. And as hinky as some of Hasbro's stuff has been when it comes to connecting shit together, I don't imagine that this is the way it's supposed to be. So let's go ahead and sheet a moment. Alright, so those two things do in fact get close enough together because there is a tab in there. So I did not have that. But when I do that, the arms themselves aren't in the right spot. What the Alright, that being said, let's take this back a bit. These are supposed to go forward. Okay. So when these come up, they actually are supposed to click into here like this. So this may have been one of the issues I was having. There we go. Okay, those are still in place there. Oh, for fuck's sake. Nope, that can't be it. Right? Nope. Shh. Wait. Actually. Okay. These feet actually do click in there like that. This would make more sense to me if these were flipped the other way. Oh, wait. Okay. There we go. Okay, we've got the bottom of the tank figured out. Okay, so we're at the tricky part now, or at least the part that I've been having problems with. Alright, if we start these guys out here, which is kind of what it looks like in the instructions. Well, okay. This is what it looks like in the instructions. Did I have that around the wrong way? Is that the problem? No, hold on. Okay. So these things have to fold up and over far enough so those two things combine. But the arms still need to come together. And that's still backwards. And that's the part I'm having problems with right now. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay. So then now we should be able to slide this in here. And plug. That's not in position to do that either. Now the arms don't go far enough forward. Am I missing something where... Is there a... Hold on. Oh, I can't get it apart. Did I miss a part where the arms extend too? No, there is nothing... There's no way for the arms to extend out. But I am positive that this needs to plug into here while going over that. Unless, wait. Unless we do that. All right. I think we've got it, guys. Gals, whatever. Bots. Woohoo! Okay. Tank mode complete. And it was only mostly painful. So let's be perfectly honest here. This is not exactly the greatest tank mode ever for a Transformer. They definitely concentrated on doing the robot mode to look like the cartoon, which I guess is the main point of the Studio Series, is to have the robot modes look as close to accurate as possible and then work on the vehicle mode. But of course, Megatron didn't have a tank mode in G1, so they gave us this thing. And you can see that the top part, I don't know what this is actually called on a tank, but it is definitely sitting up there relatively high. Now I know why Prime vs. Prime has a little pointer finger that he uses. However, that being said, we do have a rotation on the tank turret. That's it. So we do have a full 360 on the tank turret, even though it's moving from the back and not the middle like it should be. We can also kind of jimmy up an angle here. It's not really supposed to move, but it kind of does. So yeah. So while I'll give his robot mode a good 9 out of 10, I think his tank mode deserves about a 4 out of 10. It does roll. The wheels do seem to work. Once you get all this stuff properly positioned, this no longer seems to be hindering it like it was earlier. Of course, Energon Sword storage is always stupid. It would have been nice if they had a way to fit it inside him somewhere. They did not. And yeah, so this is his tank mode, and I think it looks pretty awful. But if we're being perfectly honest, who's going to be displaying this Megatron in vehicle mode anyway? It's going to be in robot mode. All this, and I would still like a properly designed G2 Megatron in the tank mode. Please, Hasbro, do that for us. That's all I really ask at this point. But why don't you guys tell me what you think of our Studio Series Megatron, both the robot mode and the tank mode? Because I think the tank mode really is pretty bad. But I do like the robot mode. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to transform that like button. And if you think I'm an idiot for not looking at the directions first, go ahead, double hit or triple tap that like button, because, you know, I want you to keep hitting it. I mean, it only works once, but as long as you don't hit the dislike button, it's fine. But if you want to see more of my nonsense in the future, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.